Uy, kuya, nakalimutan mong birthday ni mama ngayon, no?
Walang problema. Magpapadala na lang ako sa World Remit. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Oh, ha? Ay, lagot. Si mama tumatawag. Happy birthday, ma!
Salamat anak, natanggap ko na ang padala mong pera from World Remit. Akala ko nakalimutan mo na eh.
Siyempre, ma. Ako pa.
Hi, we're Fourth Impact, and hello to all the viewers of Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlan.
Thank you for always supporting Fourth Impact, and please, you can download our new song, No More.
And all digital platforms.
Yes.
And you can follow us on all our social media accounts. Just type Fourth Impact, and everything is verified. So, thank you. God bless everyone. Keep safe.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlan. I'm very, very thankful to all of my sponsors, everybody who's been involved in this project. I'm kind of sad in a way that this is the last episode in Series 3, but then again I've had some amazing guests who've been able to join us. I'm really thankful to World Remit again for your sponsorship. They have an ongoing promo called 3 Free, which is if you go onto their app, you download the World Remit app and type in the number 3 and the letters FREE. Your first 3 transactions of sending money to the Philippines is absolutely free. It's very straightforward. Just click on the app and you can send money very quickly. Today is a really exciting episode for me, and I'm very, very something that's very close to my heart. For a long time now, I've been supporting Filipino culture and, of course, the Philippines. And I've always believed that there is power in one, or there's greater unity if everyone works together. And on that note, I'd like to introduce my first guest. We have a few guests today, John Belmonte. Now, John is the CEO and the founder of Philippine Unite. Welcome, John. It's over to you.
Thank you so much, Malcolm. I'd like to thank you for inviting Filipino Unite in your series Pusong Pinoy. And thank you so much to everyone and for giving us the opportunity to share to you what Filipino Unite is, who we are, and what we can offer. And I'd like,
I really do appreciate that. You know, it's really great that there is a group of you who really want to bring unity and really believe that there is more, if you like, strength in working together for a better Philippines. And of course, you know, promoting events and everything else. I remember back in the day, probably in the days maybe before Facebook, where I had this website called philevent.com. And what I used to do was I used to update Filipino events that were happening around the UK. And in fact, I'm very grateful to the cultural attaché and to the Philippine embassy because they used to send me a list of Filipino events. And because they were published on my website, people would check that list before they then listed their own event. Is that something that you think is important as well? Because I do believe that sometimes if you organize an event, if you don't know when there are other events, you end up having 3 events on the same day. And sadly, that somewhat divides the community. What are your plans to overcome this?
well, in terms of promoting our events and the different activities, we collaborate with different organizations to make sure that there is no conflict with other organizations that are having an event on that same day. I think it is more advanced at this point in time that we can see what's going on around compared to what's happening before, and therefore we are being able to prevent whatever conflicts that we might be encountering. But before we do that, I'd like to take this opportunity to share what Filipino Unite is. Filipino Unite is a group that was formed in light of COVID-19 pandemic. And we are here to provide voluntary assistance and charity services to Filipinos who are affected or in need at time of the COVID-19 pandemic. So we would like to extend our help to bring Filipinos together, to unite every Filipinos here in the UK and support them in any ways that we can do.
I think that's very, very important. You know, I think COVID-19 has struck the Filipino community in such a tragic way. If you just look at the figures, I believe there may have been around about 50 people or 50 deaths from COVID-19 within the community, be that nurses, be that carers, be that partners of carers. And of course, what's been happening, as you know, is a lot of Filipinos work within the healthcare profession, and a lot of them have been isolated and they've had to quarantine and they haven't even had access to the basic essentials. And I'm sure you want to provide this support because we probably haven't seen the last of COVID-19 either, sadly.
Yes, that's very true, Malcolm. The Filipino Unite, we are here to provide services to Filipinos in different aspects. That's why under Filipino Unite, we have 4 divisions that we support not only the nurses here in the UK, but even the non-healthcare profession. We have information governance, which is being led by Mr. Michael Duque, our divisional director. Also, we have the healthcare division, which is being led by Mr. Joron Jimenez. And under that, we have the allied healthcare professionals. We support the works of Philippine Nurses Association UK in line with the healthcare division of this organization. And we also have the public relations and multimedia division of our organization. We would like to emphasize that we are here not only focusing in nurses, but to every Filipino, whether you are a domestic helper, you're a nanny, whatever profession you have, you're a porter, you're a healthcare assistant, we are here to support and help everyone else.
I think that's really great to hear that. I think this is going to be welcome news to Filipinos around the UK. And there are so many questions at the moment, be it when can I travel to the Philippines? How can I send money to the Philippines? Who's the safest, cargo company or courier company? Do you have some kind of website or chat group where people can find out these kind of questions?
Yes, we do. It's called FilipinoUnite.com. If you visit that website, you'll be able to see all the services that we provide. We have a hotline support number, which is 0208-037-2000. You can dial that number and somebody will pick up the phone and give you a hand, and we'll probably be referring you to our advisors who are giving their time voluntarily. We do provide legal surgery for free with the Filipino solicitor who gave her time voluntarily to give her service to you for free. We have our COVID-19 support to those who've been affected and mental health advice and guidance. So we are supported by Filipinos who have achieved their career here in the UK, and they've been recognized and they're respected. And because they have seen the purpose of Filipino Unite, they have voluntarily come to us and say, we would like to support you. This is a sincere reaching out to Filipino. That's why we formed this Filipino Unite. And we are here because we have realized that there are lots of communities, Filipino communities here in the UK. We have Filipino community in Brighton, we have Filipino community in Birmingham, we have Filipino community in Manchester, but it seems like we are all bound by barriers. So I believe that our community, wherever we are, we can achieve something, but we extremely believe that we can achieve more if we are united. So Filipino Unite is here to bridge every one of us. There might be some things that we cannot do, and help because of our limitations. But when you come to us, and if we can't help you on our level, we will be your bridge to connect you to relevant organizations or department that will be able to help you.
That's really welcome news. You know, this is something that's been needed for a long time now. And I think the COVID-19 pandemic has showed in some ways that there are some fantastic individuals out there, some fantastic organizations who have been able to help, but I think coordination would be very helpful. For example, if you wanted to, say, send some food to a group in Oxford, wouldn't it be nice if you could go to one organization and put all your resources together and help that way, or wherever it may be, Manchester or whatever? I do believe it's easier if you have unity in terms of fundraising, in terms of everything else. Before we move on to our next guest, I just wanted to ask you maybe one question, and I hate to say this, but it's something that I must say. You know, I've known the Filipino community in the UK now for some 30 years, and not only that, the Filipino community around the world. I always have this quote, and I guess a lot of people that would resonate with, and that is, everyone wants to be president. Everyone wants to be treasurer, everyone wants to be chief executive, everyone wants to have their own little group of about 10 members and do stuff by themselves. And, you know, me personally, I'd like to see a day of having, say, a jury system in the Philippines, or, say, having certain organizations. And because there are so many scattered groups all trying to achieve the same thing, it's very hard to move that forward. I'm sure you'd agree with this. If there was one group with one leadership, but people could join that, I think it would be much better to pool resources together rather than these all little groups doing their own thing. Don't get me wrong, of course there must be a Filipino community in Birmingham, in Oxford, in Brighton, but there needs to be a central hub so that there's unity in numbers. The reason why other cultures seem to do so well in terms of having their own TV show, their own radio show, their own massive festival, is because they would all work together. Can you say something about that, please?
Yes, I completely agree to what you're saying, Malcolm, that people are forming an organization with probably a self-interest to promote themselves and gain or achieve what they wanted to have for themselves personally. But with Filipino Unite, this organization is driven by people who would like to share the blessings that they have received in life. I have founded Filipino Unite. I am a private person. I don't expose myself anywhere. I have few businesses here in the UK, but I don't really expose myself to public. But because of the call, the necessity, I believe that this is the call of the hour, that we Filipino must unite together to help each other. What's the point of us achieving so many things in our lives that we don't share it to those who are in need? And this is being supported by people who have achieved so many things in their lives, and yet they have felt they wanted to share it in any way. And at this very point in time, I think whatever there is, I think we have been put together by the force of this universe to deliver what is the call of the hour, which is to unite every Filipinos. And in this, I think that with that kind of motivation, that makes the Filipino Unite different from any other organization. We don't want to expose ourselves to achieve or to be more powerful or for our personal interest. It's more of sharing it. So that's why we don't step up to any organization. We don't step up to any or any community. We are here to strengthen everyone. If you are running a community in Brighton, we will not step up on you. We will strengthen you. That's why if you need any help and we cannot provide it, if you need any help, let's say in any union, let's say in nursing and whatever that is, we are in collaboration with Royal College of Nursing to support whatever there is that they can offer that we cannot provide. So it's a matter of strengthening every organization to be able to deliver the service to Filipinos.
I'd really thank you for that. That seems like a incredible foundation, if you like, for a very good organization. I'd like us to take a break now, if that's okay. And
Thank
when
you.
we come back, we'll go on to our next guest. Thanks so much for watching Pusong Pinoy. Please stay right with us.
Uy, kuya, nakalimutan mong birthday ni mama ngayon, no?
Walang problema, magpapadala na lang ako sa World Remit. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Oh, ha? Ay, lagot. Si mama tumatawag. Happy birthday, ma!
Salamat anak, natanggap ko na ang padala mong pera from World Remit. Akala ko nakalimutan mo na eh.
Siyempre, ma. Ako pa.
Welcome back to Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlan. I've really enjoyed talking to our first guest about this Filipino Unite organization. I now wanted to bring on board Manong George, who really, I'm so pleased to be able to finally meet you online, talk to you online. I know you have this fantastic YouTube resource where you're helping Filipino nurses and those coming into the country giving advice. But I think the thing is, I think what everyone needs and what these new nurses need and anyone coming into the UK is an organization that they can go to so they can learn where the nearest community is, they can call on if they need any advice. And I think although you have that YouTube channel, you're not here today about that. You're here today because you're a member of Filipino Unite and you'd like to tell us how you see this organization helping. So that's really my first question. Firstly, just to tell me a little bit about yourself and then how you think Filipino Unite could help Filipinos.
Right. So just a little background. My name is George. I'm known as Manong George in the YouTube in my YouTube channel. And yes, as you mentioned, my aim as Manong George is to help nurses, may it be the new nurses coming in from the Philippines or the nurses that have been here in the UK. Now, part of what I do and what I advocate is to help Filipinos primarily. And so when John Belmonte founded Filipino Unite, I was privileged enough to be asked to join. And I could see, the alignment of thoughts and purpose that we have. And I just see that there's strength in numbers. And so, yeah, I gladly offered my services for them. And yeah, this is again harking back to what you said previously, Malcolm, about having so many Filipino communities out there working in silos, and sometimes there's that uh, there's that lack of cooperation and collaboration, and we'd like to sort of break that cycle and introduce a more cohesive and collaborative um, organization that Filipinos can come to.
You face a massive challenge, though, as you probably know. You know, I'm not Filipino myself, but I've been to the Philippines maybe 60 times. I have family in the Philippines. I understand, I believe, Filipino culture. And a lot of it is kind of a little bit territorial in that I'm from I'm Visayan, I'm Cebuanan or whatever, and we have our own sort of little communities. It's hard to explain, but I think I've never seen in my 25 years of experience in the UK, I've never seen any organization be able to pull it off. I've seen a lot of Filipino organizations who've had that wish or had that goal or had that vision. And what saddens me the most is I'll go to some Filipino events. And the reason why I set up my website previously was because you'd go to some events, you'd only see 10 people there. And yet there's 300,000 Filipinos in the UK.
That's
Or,
right.
you know, I'd love to see a Filipino festival. We had one before in Trafalgar Square in central London. I'd love to see a Filipino festival that were in Hyde Park. I'd love to see 200,000 Filipinos in that festival. I'd love to see a Filipino TV channel that has a million people watching it every day. You know, it's all possible if people work together. And I think one of the challenges you face is that division, with the greatest respect. And I wonder what you can do to be able to overcome what is your greatest challenge.
I think part of the approach might be quite different. Is that people used to say, oh, I'm from the north, I'm from the south, I'm from the east, and I'll stay that way. So rather than us probably trying to change their thoughts and saying, no, you're not from there now, you're in the UK, you live in London now, so you stay with us, you become one of us. I think one of the things that we should look at for in a more, I'd say, try a different approach is to embrace that. At the end of the day, whether or not you're from Ilocos, you're from Visayas, you're from Mindanao, I mean, you're a Filipino, and that's what should be at the heart of it all. And I think that thread hasn't been exposed yet. That thread hasn't been touched on because people forget that that is the main purpose of it all. If you look at the Philippines, geographically, we are quite scattered. It's not one big island that there would be land connections. You literally have to cross the rivers, seas, fly to get to another, and so that in itself is a challenge. And I guess that's also brought over when Filipinos come to a different country and live in a different country. But I guess, but rather than saying, keeping that, we should make sure that we dig back to our real roots as the Philippines. So I think that's I hear what you're saying. It's a challenge for us, and I'd love to hopefully see, especially at this time. Obviously, COVID is everywhere at the minute, and there's, as you mentioned, it might happen again. So maybe realistically, we don't really see a festival that we could bring everybody in, but we are trying. We have a lot of projects on board, and we as a group in Filipino Unite have a practical approach to this. Like a future project is that coming soon is that we understand there in other sectors Filipinos who might have lost their jobs, and so we're trying to offer that a webinar soon coming out. I'm just saying, I'm putting this out here first time right now. So it will be coming out soon. Watch for it. I think we are looking at the September months, and we will put that out to help our Filipino brothers and sisters here in the UK.
I absolutely love that. I really love your answer. This is really the way forward, and I support what your organization is doing or what your group is doing, because you're giving practical advice, practical solutions. You're not trying to be the president of a particular Filipino organization. What you're trying to do is you're trying to bring together different organizations like almost a central hub. So I'm sure you would welcome, say, the Birmingham Filipino community or the Manchester Filipino community to be able to join with you, and you'll support them just as much as you would support the Glasgow Filipino community. And as long as you continue, which I'm sure you will, as long as you continue with that mandate, if you like, I think this is what makes you different to a lot of the other organizations who've tried this in the past, because you're offering a helpline, you're offering legal assistance, and I think this is the way forward. I think it's about collaboration. I think it's about working together, and this is why I do feel that you have a great angle and that you have almost a service that you're offering to Filipinos across the UK. So well done on that, and I think that's a great vision.
Oh, thank you. And yes, can I just stress that obviously, please, to all the, because what it is, we're not yet, we want to be known more. Obviously, we can only help people who know us as well. And if we know them, that they have a plight that they need helping. So please don't don't hesitate. If you need us, to all our kababayans out there, kung kailangan niyo po ng tulong, please make sure to call us. Just to repeat what John said earlier, our number is 0208 037 2000. And we have a website at FilipinoUnite.com. And yes, we'll be happy to answer your calls and to help you whatever your plight might be.
Please, can I ask you, George, you know this already, one of my pet hates is the number of scammers out there. The number of scammers on Facebook trying to advertise jobs in the UK as cleaners, as factory workers, as domestic workers, as porters, or whatever it may be. And can you support these Filipinos who are thinking about coming to the UK? Can I maybe ask you to maybe say something in Filipino to try and encourage people not to be scammed, to all our people watching, and to explain what you guys can do? That would be great if you could go ahead and do that, please.
Right. I'll just stick with, yes, what you've asked for, Malcolm, but probably more into what my expertise might be, and that is nursing, okay, and related jobs. So sa mga kababayan po natin dyan na nasa Pilipinas, na maaaring iniisip niyo po na makakapagtrabaho tayo dito sa United Kingdom, totoo naman po, meron po talagang mga trabaho para sa mga Pilipino dito, pero kailangan po na mabuti yung tinignan, research kung ano po ba talaga yung trabaho. Certain jobs po, like nurses, meron po talagang trabaho yan dito. And there are a million other resources that you can look at. You can look at Filipino Unite, andyan po yung website namin kung nasa Pilipinas kayo. Pero ang isa po sa mga pinaka-importanting titignan nyo po, tignan nyo po, kung masyadong maganda, malabo pong mangyari yun. Kung masyado pong maganda yung offer at hindi pasok doon sa trabaho, pag-isipan niyo pong mabuti. Maganda rin po, tumingin po rin kayo sa POEA para sigurado pong yung agency na yon is nakaregister para meron kayong mahabol. Kasi mahirap po talaga, marami pa rin manloloko dyan sa atin.
I think you also make a very good point, George, about people going to the official website, if you like, or the official Facebook page of the POEA, but I believe you must also caution people that there are people who've set up their own fake POEA Facebook pages as well on a regular basis. So even if Filipinos do believe that they're going to a genuine page, that might also be a scam as well. And I think you make another good point that if it seems too good to be true, then it's not true. For example, £100,000 a year as a healthcare assistant, that's not true. But if you don't live in the UK, if you don't understand about the salaries here, and that's why it's important for your group to reinforce, I believe, what life is really like in the UK and those practicalities, because people seem to be a bit disillusioned or a bit misinformed. And I think that's something that you'll probably want to show as well. So what I'd like to do, if that's all right, is just basically get your quick response to that before we go for a short break.
Yes. So sa mga kababayan po natin, katulad po na sinabi ng kaibigan natin si Malcolm, kung hindi po kayo sigurado, come and visit us at our website, send us a message, pati po sa Facebook namin, yung Filipino Unite, I believe it's right there. It will flash up kung ano yung logo natin, and we will be gladly answering your questions.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. So guys, I'd like to go to another break now. Thank you so much for watching Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlan. It's really been a pleasure to have the guys from Filipino Unite here. Thanks so much to World Remit. We'll join you in a couple of minutes.
Hi, my name's Jane Walker. I'm the founder and the CEO of the Purple Community Fund. We work with some of the poorest children and families in the Philippines. We run an integrated service plan from education, health, nutrition, social intervention, livelihood workshops, right the way through to business startups. And our goal is really to see as many Filipino families as we possibly can help to have a better and more sustainable and safe life. I have this great pleasure of welcoming you to Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlan. And I've known Malcolm for a very long time, and he has been a massive supporter of the Purple Community Fund. In fact, Malcolm's been a massive supporter of pretty much everything Filipino. His drive, his passion, and his energy is just absolutely admirable. He is a voice for the Filipino community in Britain. He supports all up and coming bands and charities that are doing work in the Philippines. And I know you are going to really enjoy this show.
Uy, kuya, nakalimutan mong birthday ni mama ngayon, no?
Walang problema. Magpapadala na lang ako sa World Remit. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Oh, ha? Ay, lagot. Si mama tumatawag. Happy birthday, ma!
Salamat anak, natanggap ko na ang padala mong pera from World Remit. Akala ko nakalimutan mo na eh.
Siyempre, ma. Ako pa.
Thanks so much for watching us again. I'd like to move to our final guest, Michael Duque. Michael's been very much involved with the Filipino community for many, many years. I've worked with him before on a number of projects. He's been very supportive of Filipino nurses in the UK, and of course is incredibly well qualified as a nurse, but not only that, as an advocate for Filipinos, and of course is with the Philippine Nurses Association as well. And I'm really pleased, Mike, that you're also involved in this advocacy. Can you please tell me what the plans are for the future of Filipino Unite and how you fit into all of this?
Well, first and foremost, good afternoon, Malcolm, and good afternoon to all the viewers of Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlan. And before we go, I'd like also to give a massive thanks to World Remit for having done this episode. Yes, I have been involved with Filipino Unite when it started, and as you know me, Malcolm, we go a long way back to 15 years. And what I like about Filipino Unite is they have not only decided and aims to unite all the Filipinos, organizations and individuals in the UK, but what they also want to do is to be able to deliver a program. They have a trust. They actually have Unite as its word, as its organization word. So Unite. Unite itself has a meaning. It actually is the trust of the program, of the organization. And if I may say that this meaning of this Unite is number one for you is to have Usap Tayo, which is a program which means that they are here for you, the organization here for you to be able to talk to. Then you have N for Ngayon Na, which is to provide emergency services, to provide emergency assistance to individuals. They have I, the Inang Kalikasan, which is for nature. They have the T, Tulong para sa Bayan. This is for individuals and organizations in the Philippines. So then we have E, which is Edukasyon and Kultura. So you would see that the Unite itself has this program trust, and it encompasses everything. So that's what I like with Unite, and that's why I have given my support to it. Not to mention that the individuals forming Unite are all volunteers and without any interest on, as what you said earlier, become the president of this, the chairman of this. It's all not involved in that. It's all being able to deliver something to the community and to the individuals and the Filipino here in the UK.
See, the thing is, what I think will make you very sustainable, and I think what sets you apart from some people who've tried to do this in the past, is before you've launched this, you've clearly put a massive amount of effort into this, or the whole group has. You have a vision, you have a purpose, you have advocacies, and I think that's what sets you apart, and I'm sure why you're a part of this organization.
Indeed, Malcolm, yes. The group has actually did actually a lot of brainstorming, both online and even before the COVID lockdown itself. But we must remember that we can only do so much. Filipino Unite can only do so much. We can have all these programs, this trust as a central hub for anything Filipino, but unless we get the support of the individuals and the organizations, unless the individuals and the organization get in touch with us, it's all going to be nothing. So what we do encourage is individuals, Filipino individuals and Filipino organizations, come and join us, come and unite with us, come and collaborate with us. This is something that is for you. It is something not only for you, for us an organization, it is for the whole Filipino community. Let us all unite together. And that way, we can get away with having multiple voices, but instead have one voice in terms of anything Filipino.
So just to touch upon some of our previous encounters, Mike, I think one of the issues that we both felt very strongly about was the Chua case of the Filipino nurse who was involved in the in the issue before of Stepping Hill and the hospital and everything. And I'm not going to focus too much on that, but what I will say is the News of the World, as you probably remember, they then had this article, why do we still need Filipino nurses, and that the UK NHS recruits 20,000 Filipino nurses. And this was causing a lot of issues at the time, a lot of racism, a lot of prejudice, a lot of Filipino nurses actually ended up being scared, a lot of their qualifications were questioned as a result. And I know we went ahead and we were involved in this protest and campaign, and I think it is this voice for the Philippines, not only for nurses, and I think it's this voice for the Philippines I think is so important. Can your organization help with that? If there was an issue of racism, would your organization stand up and get involved? And why do you think it's so important that we have this united voice?
Yes, I remember clearly during those days, Malcolm, when you and I were on the streets. And in fact, we did answer that. The association indeed answered that with a counter article which says, hiring Filipino nurses, why not? Which was a direct answer to the Daily Mail's hit on the Filipinos. And if you can actually remember that particular event was very successful, because what happened is the Daily Mail actually did recognize the importance and the significance of Filipino nurses in the UK. Now, as with Filipino Unite, yes, Filipino Unite will definitely be the voice of the Filipinos in the UK, whatever that may be, whether that's going to be related to Filipinos at work, domestic workers. We do have different divisions in Filipino Unite. That's why we have the different sectors represented and has a voice for it. Again, we do need the Filipino individuals and the nurses to come and collaborate with us. And that's the only way we can be able to successfully show the UK that we are one and united. And as I said, if you don't, then it's not going to be effective, because we will be again going back to the same process of having different fronts. But then that is the purpose of Filipino Unite. If you can all come together, we can all come together, then yes, we'll be able to deliver what we need to deliver.
I hear you talking about a Filipino voice. I hope you would welcome also my contribution towards your advocacy, because I do believe that it's something that I'm very passionate about. As you know, although I don't look Filipino, like my skin and stuff, I consider myself to be a Filipino at heart. And if I can help you in some way in your advocacy, then yes, of course, I'd like to do that, like we're doing today.
Yes, Malcolm. Well, as a lot of Filipinos says, you might be a British, but you have a Filipino heart. So it's just like saying it's a Filipino heart trapped in a British body. And we do believe that you are a very good advocate for anything Filipino. So you are very much welcome to be a part of Filipino Unite, and indeed we will welcome you with open arms. And I'm sure all our viewers and everybody else would love to do that as well. And you might have experienced it. You go anywhere, you are immediately recognized as a Filipino advocate. So yes.
I think it's about unity, isn't it? And I think it's about being that voice. And I love the way that you're trying to be that voice. And I also love the way that you're not trying to take over or trying to be a president of an organization. I love the fact that you provide services to Filipinos. But as you say, clearly, if you want to be able to help with a particular advocacy, then clearly there has to be some kind of contribution. There has to be some kind of working together. Because, of course, finally, I think before we join all of your colleagues, I think also there needs to be some kind of funding in order to be able to obtain or achieve your visions. How can Filipino organizations get involved? Do you have any membership? What are your plans in that regard?
Well, as we said, Filipino Unite is, like John said, is a volunteer group of individuals from different sectors. We don't get paid anything for it. We give our time and services for it. Now, in terms of sustainability, we do have projects. Number one, we do charity runs. In fact, some of our officers right now, or some of the people who are behind Filipino, they do charity runs to be able to raise funds. So that's one of the sustainability projects we have. We intend to do some seminars, free most of them, but of course, if we do need to charge for expenses that we need to pay, which doesn't go directly to us but goes to the services, then yes, we will be able to do it. We also do want people to proactively contribute to the service. If you find the service helpful, just like any charity, contribute to it, give something to it. You know, there are 35,000 Filipinos in the UK. One gives a pound each. That 35,000 collected will be very helpful in donating to different individuals that need assistance. We also try to apply for grants and council benefits if we can be able to do that, to provide funds for this service that we are able to provide to the Filipino community and to the BAME community as well.
I think that's very, very important that you are saying that you will provide a free service. There'll be some seminars that will be free, but people have to understand when you do these kind of platforms, there are costs involved. And in order to get the high-level services, in order to make it work, you do need some kind of support, but you're not tapping on people's doors asking them for money. What you're saying is you're going to provide those services free, and if people feel that they want to contribute for the maybe counseling session or whatever else you're going to provide, then of course they can then go ahead and do that. I'd like to bring all of you back again, so we can kind of just ask you if you have any final words. So we go ahead with yourself, John. What can you say? You seem to be on mute at the moment.
Oh, sorry. Am I?
Yeah, you're fine now.
Okay, yeah. So I'd like to speak in our native language. Sa lahat po namin mga kababayan, mga Pilipino na dito po sa UK, nais po namin mabot sa inyo at nais po namin ipaalam na narito po ang Filipino Unite upang tumulong po sa bawat isa. Marami pong mga bagong nurses na dumating po rito ngayon. We are here to help you, to support you. Pinagdaanan po namin yung mga posibleng pagdadaanan ninyo kung paano ninyo i-deal ang inyong board, ang inyong pagiging homesick, paano po ninyo i-deal ang inyong trabaho, ang inyong mga colleague, paano po kayo mag-i-improve sa inyong pong mga profession. Narito po kami para tulungan po kayo. Napagdaanan po namin yan, nililinis po namin ang inyong mga dadaanan upang mas lalo pong maging successful about Pilipinas sa UK. Ang mga nannies, marami po sa atin, meron po kayong mga limitasyon, may problema kayo sa inyong mga employers, hindi po kayo marunong, yung iba hindi marunong gumawa ng kanilang CV or anyway, tutulungan po namin kayo at wala po kayong bayad na ibibigay sa amin. Narito po kami upang magbigay ng libreng suporta sa bawat Pilipinos. At nais ko rin po ipabot sa inyo na hindi po puro lalaki ang nagra-run ng Filipino Unite. Actually, ang aming po chairwoman is si Shelito Caneja. Siya po ang chairwoman po natin. At mayroon po tayong mga babae na nagra-run po sa non-healthcare division po ng Filipino Unite. At anuman po may tutulong namin sa inyo, huwag po kayong mag-anulangan na lumapit sa amin. At kami po'y handang tumulong sa inyo sa lahat po namin magagawang paraan. Kung kami po'y limitado sa ganitong aspekto, meron pong ibang mga organizations na kami po'y nakikipag-collaborate at kayo po ay i-connect po namin sa mga tamang departamento upang matulungan po. Salamat po.
Maraming salamat po. That's very good that you've been able to reach out to some of our kababayan. I'm not even Filipino and I'm saying kababayan. That's really crazy. Manang George, can you say anything to everyone watching? You again have no sound.
Hello. Yes. Sa mga ate, kuya, tito, tita na nandito sa United Kingdom, kahit po yung bago pa lang po at mas bata-bata sa atin, Filipino Unite is open for all of us. Para po sa atin itong mga Pilipino to ang nagbukas ng kanilang kalooban para makatulong din sa inyo. So, reiterate ko lang po, ang aming number is 0208-037-2000. Again, that's 0208-037-2000. At ang aming website ay www.filipinounite.com. FilipinoUnite.com. Pwede niyo po kaming kamustahin dyan. Kung may tanong kayo o may kailangan kayong tulong, dito po, pwede niyo kaming maabot. Kahit po sa Facebook, open din po kami. Thank you po.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And of course, now with the difficulties regarding COVID-19 and everything, I think this is particularly a time where some people will be stressed, maybe emotional stress, maybe they've been working long hours, maybe they just need somebody to talk to. And I'm sure in the case of nurses and everything else, you know, this is a really difficult time. And I believe this is the time where people do need that support. Mike, can you give any sort of inspiring words to people, to our nurses, healthcare workers, and how they can be supported through this group as well?
Yes, thank you very much, Malcolm. To all our kababayans in the UK, Filipino Unite is here. The name itself says everything. Unite. And based on that Unite, we have different services, they have different thrusts that you can able to tap to. Now, my colleagues George and John has actually called on kababayans to come and join Unite. I'm now calling on to the community leaders, to the organizational leaders. Yes, I know you have your own groups, your own organizations, but it will not make you a lesser organization or a lesser leader if you try to collaborate with Unite. Come and join us, collaborate with us. It will not make you a lesser organization, but in fact, it will make you much more stronger. The foundation is there, the network is there, the connection is there. And as a good leader, this is something that you have to look forward to, something that you will be able to expand more, to provide more services to your constituents, to provide more services to your members and to the members of your organization and association. You have nothing to lose, everything is for you to gain. And that is my advice, and I do encourage not only the Filipino leaders, Filipino community associations to come and collaborate with us, with Filipino Unite, but also Filipino businesses. This is now also an opportunity to give something back to the community, to give something back to make the Filipinos unite together. And I'm sure Malcolm and I, having gone back 15 years or so, we have seen everything that's happened in the UK. And I think Filipino Unite is the answer to have one voice, to be able to show the world that we are a Filipino united in front in whatever we do.
I think that's a very good point you make, and I think the thing is now what saddens me in some ways is that some people kind of don't look back at the past and don't try and learn from the past. And you know, I think it's good that if we do sort of all work together, I think we can achieve great things. As I said, my wish would be to have a massive barrio fiesta in Hyde Park, not anytime soon because of COVID-19, or I'd like to see a TV channel dedicated for Filipinos, like you have BBC One, ITV, you have a certain channel, or for example, if the Indian community can do it, the African communities can do it, why can't Filipinos do it? There is power in numbers. I believe now we probably have 250,000, 300,000 Filipinos in the UK. If every single one of those gave £1 a month, you'd have enough money to reach out to all the Filipinos in need. You know, this is something that really I do support. I have to say that. It's something that I believe in your vision and that I fully support what you're trying to achieve.
Thank you very much, Malcolm. Indeed. And I do reiterate what you've said, that yes, there is, the way forward is to unite, to adapt, to be able to show a one single force of culture, of nationality, although we're British nationals as well.
And just to make one point, you know, I know the portfolios of all of you guys. I know your CVs and what you've achieved. You know, you're already very successful people in your own right. You're already leaders. Mike, you're a nurse consultant. You're at the very top of your field, and yet you want to help other Filipinos. You want to be there for everybody else. You want to impart your knowledge almost. You want to impart your experience. And I'm sure, John, you can sort of sum this all up by saying you're not there just to show off. You're not there to be some kind of president or to be the next leader. What you're there to do is to try and help other Filipinos to be able to achieve. And you'd say this as well, Manang George, and I'm sure that's what you're about.
Yes, Malcolm. Yes, we completely agree to what you're saying. We are here to share what we have achieved, to guide you, to train, and to be a guide to everyone. We are here to support every Filipino in any ways that we can. As we always say, we in Filipino Unite, we are stronger together.
Thank you so much. Maraming salamat po to all of you. Any final goodbyes, greetings to all of our viewers before we end this?
Right. I just want to say, marami pong salamat sa mga sumuporta sa atin at sa mga susunod pang mga taong makakapanood nito once it's out there for the recorded version. Thank you po. And again, please, if you have any concerns or kahit mga musta lang po kayo, please contact us in Filipino Unite. Again, www.filipinounite.com. Find us on Facebook, and also 0208-037-2000 is our number. So we would be glad to hear from you.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you to all of you. Mike, any final words?
Yes, thank you very much to all who has taken the time to watch this Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlan. And thank you very much, Malcolm, for what you have been doing to the Filipino community. And I do appreciate deeply what you have been doing and for having been the voice of the Filipinos both here and in the UK. And to all those who has made this possible, World Remit, thank you very much. And I do hope that this will not be the last, although you said this will be the last episode. I do hope that there will be more Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm, because you are indeed the voice of the Filipinos here in the UK. Thank you very much.
I'm deeply touched, and I really do appreciate your support, Mike, and I'd like to thank you for everything you're also doing for the community. And I know you really help with the standards of nursing within the NHS as well, and I know you fight for a better NHS for us, and I know you work very, very hard, and I know this is a very difficult time, so I'd like to thank you for all of you for your sacrifices as well for our country. Without you guys, I think we'd be screwed, as simple as that. Anyway, John, any final words?
Yes, I think first I'd like to thank Malcolm Conlan. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to share what Filipino Unite is, who we are, and what we can offer. And again, I'd like to emphasize that Filipino Unite is here to support you, every Filipinos, in any way that we can. Visit our website, filipinounite.com. You can reach us there. You can send us a message on that website directly, and you can have a look at the services that we can offer. And we are here to freely give our time and support to every one of you. And in fact, we have helped lots of Filipinos already, and I believe we are still able to help more Filipinos in different aspects of your life, whether it's pastoral care, education, employment, guidance, COVID-19 victims. We are here to support and help you. And just like what Mr. Michael Duque has said, joining Filipino Unite, all the leaders of different organizations here in the UK will not make you a lesser leader. This will make you stronger, as we always believe. In Filipino Unite, we are stronger together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Just a final greeting to JJ Jimenez. Thanks very much for watching. To Andrew Boddy, to Henry Mason, to Jack Aquino, to Susan Lovejoy, of course, for your continued support, to Zani Del Mundo, and of course to Rock. Thanks so much. Thank you to everybody who's watching this, and thank you to everybody who's made this successful. I really do appreciate you joining us on this third series. We hope to join you again in the future. I'd like to thank my technical director. I'd like to thank everybody behind this, and most especially, I'd like to thank World Remit. Thank you for your involvement, and we hope to see you guys soon. Thank you.
Uy, kuya, nakalimutan mong birthday ni mama ngayon, no?
Walang problema. Magpapadala na lang ako sa World Remit. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Oh, ha? Ay, lagot. Si mama tumatawag. Happy birthday, ma!
Salamat anak, natanggap ko na ang padala mong pera from World Remit. Akala ko nakalimutan mo na eh.
Siyempre, ma. Ako pa.